Well, hello, Aaron Stringer. How are you doing today, young man?
Having a pretty good day. How are you?
I'm just doing excellent. I'm excited to be here with you and another episode of Legacy Made Clear from Red Cliff Legal. We've got some good stuff going on today.
We do.
I work with a lot of business owners in my marketing business. And I've talked to some folks about you, and they've asked me questions. They go, well, as a business owner, what should I include in my estate plan? Maybe I should just buy one of those DIY books and do it myself. And I'm going, oh no, you don't want to do that. You need to call Aaron. What should business owners include in their estate plan? Not they're going to do it themselves. They're going to call you, but what do they
Right.
need to tell you to put in there?
Yeah. So I agree. I mean, I work with a lot of business owners as well, and as you know, as a business owner yourself,
Yeah.
you put a lot of work into it. So the thought of, okay, if I become incapacitated or if I die, all of that just disappears, or what happens to it. And so through estate planning, we can make sure that all that hard work and investment does not just disappear. We can instead plan for it. That's what estate planning is about, to plan for these different contingencies. And one of those certainly is what can be done with a business. So a couple of key things. We want to look at continuity. So how do we keep the business running? What is needed? Um, and part of that, a big part of continuity is just who's going to take over. So whether that's, successors, if you have a partner, if you have family involved, or, children that want to take on the family business, those are all different things we would want to look at and then implement that into both an estate plan, but also governing documents of the business itself, to make sure that it's all, you know, um, within that language, because that's ultimately how things are going to happen and operate legally.
Okay. So here's a scenario, which I'm sure has never ever happened. So let's say I've got my business in a trust, and I'm in process of selling my business,
Hmm.
but I don't want to sell it to any of my family members. I don't want them to take over. I've got a buyer. Things are going along nicely, and all of a sudden, I get really, really sick, and it looks like I may be passing away soon. How do we facilitate an ownership transfer to a non-family member?
Well, one good way to do that is kind of part of that sale is what's called a buy-sell agreement. So you can create, uh, and it depends what that sale looks like. But if it's going to be over time, where it's more of a transition type of thing, and you're anticipating if something happens to you, a buy-sell agreement is a great way to establish kind of the ground rules for what happens when the seller, or one of the partners or owners passes away. And that way, and you implement life insurance into that, so that the family has fun, or that so the surviving partner can buy out the family of the partner that's deceased, and make sure that the family ends up being reimbursed, or at least compensated for all that original partner put into it. So yeah, it's a great tool to use.
It's called a buy-sell agreement.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha. So that's one way that we can protect the family business, even though the family's not taking it over, because I'm
Right.
sure that the family is still going to be able to receive some type of compensation from the sale,
Exactly.
you know, through a will or through the estate plan. We can make sure that they're provided for.
Yep.
Is there anything else a business owner can do to protect it?
Yeah, well, one thing that we would always want to look at is protecting assets. So, and that's where, uh, of course, that's why we have things like LLCs and corporations, or at least one of the reasons,
Yeah.
is we want to separate those liabilities created by the business from our personal assets, our home, personal belongings, all those things. And so we want to make sure that between the structure of the company and the creation of the estate plan, that they're both working together, and that there is that clear line of separation, so that the liability doesn't spill over.
Oh, that sounds great. Any other final words before we head on down the legal road?
I don't think so. Just you know, for those business owners, that's just one more reason to put together a plan, because of the value behind that, to make sure that all that hard work pays off for you and the family later on.
Yeah, and probably not one of those DIY plans.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
See
Aaron,
previous podcast.
yes, listen to the previous podcast. Don't make that mistake. The other mistake you should not make is not to call Aaron. Aaron, what's your phone number?
Yeah, please do. 435-817-9187. And you can always reach me by email as well. So a stringer at redclifflegal.com.
And your website is redclifflegal.com. We
That's it.
want to remind everyone to watch, listen, subscribe, and share to all of your other Legacy Made Clear podcasts, which are all available on YouTube and also on all the major podcast channels. Aaron, thanks a lot. We'll
All
see you
right.
again
Thank
next
you.
time, okay?
Okay.
You take care. Legacy Made Clear.